Imagine winning a historic war against the most powerful military on Earth. But the courageous fighters were not trained soldiers. They were actually 500,000 enslaved human beings, worked to the bone on brutal sugar and coffee island plantations. Against all odds, this brave population won, defeating 3 global empires, including Spain, Great Britain, and their French masters. In 1804, they finally declared the Republic of Haiti, establishing the very first free black republic in human history. But their hard-won victory was met not with trade, but with a terrifying, century-long economic punishment from former empires. Instead of launching another military invasion, European powers coordinated a highly devastating and coordinated financial siege on Haiti. France quickly delivered a terrifying ultimatum. Haiti must pay a crushing bill of 150 million gold francs. If they refused to pay, they would face complete military destruction and the immediate loss of their hard-fought freedom. This predatory bill was specifically designed to ensure that Haiti's national independence and freedom would never lead to prosperity. This is the dramatic story of the first free black republic and the predatory debt that crippled its entire economy. It remains one of the most grotesque financial arrangements ever recorded in human history, and almost nobody ever talks about it. To understand how Haiti ended up paying its former enslavers, we have to look back to when this colony existed. Then named Saint-Domingue, it was once the most profitable, highly prized piece of real estate on the entire planet. By the late 1780s, Saint-Domingue was the undisputed crown jewel of the massive and wealthy global French Empire. This single tiny Caribbean colony produced 40% of all sugar consumed in both Europe and the Americas. Alongside this sugar, Saint-Domingue produced a staggering 60% of the entire world's coffee exports every single year. Its exports were so valuable that nearly 2/3 of France's foreign investments were tied directly to this single island. Over 1 million French citizens depended entirely on this colonial trade, which generated unbelievable wealth for their home nation. This tiny island actually produced more wealth than all 13 American colonies combined generated for Great Britain. For the French aristocracy, owning a sugar plantation there was the historical equivalent of owning a top Silicon Valley tech giant. Fortunes were minted overnight, but every single cent was extracted from the laborers with terrifying, unspeakable colonial brutality. By the late 1780s, the enslaved population had swollen to 500,000 people, outnumbering white colonists 10-1. To maintain absolute control over this massive population, the planters operated their sugar plantations like literal, systematic death factories. The labor was entirely relentless, with workers feeding sugarcane into massive, bone-crushing wooden mills 24 hours a day. They boiled scalding juice in giant copper vats and hauled heavy loads day and night under constant physical threats. The physical devastation and severe malnutrition were so extreme that the enslaved population could not sustain itself naturally. The death rate consistently outpaced births, and the average working life of a plantation laborer was only 15 years. In fact, more than half of all enslaved workers died within 5 years of arriving on the island. To replace the dead, French slavers imported 40,000 kidnapped Africans to the island every single year. France transported nearly 800,000 Africans to its shores, double the total count carried to the United States. This colony was a brutal meat grinder designed specifically to turn precious human lives into shiny gold for France. Brutal violence was ritualized daily to maintain absolute submission, from severe whippings and iron branding to cruel spiked collars. Legal protections were ignored, colonial courts looked away, and the planters exercised absolute, unregulated power over their workers. The colony's social pyramid was dangerously stratified, with a few wealthy Grand Blancs sitting comfortably at the absolute peak. This extreme concentration of violence and wealth made a massive, explosive historical conflict entirely inevitable on the island. In 1791, the enslaved population rose up, burning down the sugar plantations and fighting with unmatched courage. Under brave leaders like Toussaint Louverture, they defeated global empires, declaring their ultimate national independence in 1804. But France would not accept this defeat. In 1825, King Charles X sent heavy warships to surround Haiti. They demanded 150 million gold francs to compensate French planters for their lost colonial property. France quickly imposed a global trade embargo, forced isolated Haitian leaders to sign, and offered high-interest bank loans. This forced Haiti to borrow money to pay for the very freedom they had already shed blood to win. This cool debt double-dipping trapped the beautiful Caribbean nation in a devastating and permanent loop of poverty. National wealth went straight to Paris instead of constructing vital local schools, advanced hospitals, or modern infrastructure. This structural debt was not fully paid off until 1947, leaving Haiti's economy permanently starved of capital. The story of Haiti reminds us that true national freedom can never exist without complete financial sovereignty. When a financial system is designed to keep you broke, victory on the battlefield is only the beginning.